Hello and welcome to this user guide training on Inlux T24 core banking application. T24 is a complete front-to-back office software platform that powers core banking operations and is highly customizable to meet all financial institutions' platform operational needs. Each core banking transaction has been categorized in several business units, namely Cash Operations Unit, Transaction Unit, Customer Service Unit, and many more. Once again, welcome to this new learning experience. Fasten your seatbelt and don't forget to enjoy your training. The user guide contains all essential information on how to make full use of the application. This is a step-by-step procedure for the application access and use. The user guide training has been broken down into 6 modules, namely Module 1, Introduction to T24 Navigation, Module 2, Customer Creation User, Module 3, Cash and Teller Operations, Module 4, Payment Services Operations, Module 5, Clearing Operations, and lastly, Module 6, Credit and Deposit Operation. Without any further ado, let's begin with the Introduction to T24 Navigation. Welcome to Module 1 of the T24 User Guide training. We shall start this module with the Introduction to T24 Navigation. At the end of this module, you should be able to 1. Navigate T24 and create user records. 2. Open, amend, inquire customer records, prospect customer accounts, account maintenance, and reports. 3. Handle outward and inward remittances on fund transfer transactions, delivery messages, and reports. 4. Open limit records, look up related inquiries and reports. And lastly, 5. Understand the basics of risk management in T24. Navigation in T24. The T24 application can be operated with 2 different front ends, namely Browser and Classic. Features of both front ends. Both are complementary products, and they provide the basic functionality required. Each has their own exclusive features, such as 1. Browser. This is the latest front end to T24 core banking application. Light client and ideal for end users as there is no need for installation of any special software. 2. Classic. This is character based. It is used for running core banking operations, and it is meant for system administrators. Logging into T24 via the browser. This is an internet-based front end for T24. Step 1. Log on to T24 using Internet Explorer or Netscape Navigator. Step 2. Type in the appropriate URL in address bar. Step 3. Log into T24 by using username and password and click the Sign In button. Step 4. Log out from T24 by clicking the Sign Off tab on the upper right corner. Understanding the first T24 screen. Upon login, the following is the screen you will see when you log in. First, on the upper left on the screen is the username. Next to it is the sign-on information. Right below the username is the browser buttons. And lastly, we have the commanded line, which is the rectangle. Let's focus a bit on the browser buttons. We shall click on each of the buttons for more information. Let's start with the Help button for more inquiries about T24. Step 1. Click on Help. Step 2. From the options provided, click on T24 Online Help. It shows you all you need to know about T24. To know more about T24 on the browser, take the following process. Step 1. Click on Help. Step 2. Click on the T24 browser. The next button we are going to view is the Tool button. Clicking on the Tool button shows you my profile and my company's information. Let's start with my profile. Step 1. Click on Tools button. Step 2. Click on my profile. Here, you can change password, amend preferences, organize favorites, and also deactivate profiles. Change your password. Step 1. From my profile, click on the Change Password tab. Step 2. Type in the old password in the old password field. Step 3. Type in the new password in the new password field. Step 4. Repeat the new password in the Confirm New Password field. Step 5. Click on the Confirm button to execute. Note, you will receive a notification that your password has been changed successfully. Next, in the Tools button is My Companies. Step 1. Click on My Companies to view all companies under T24. The command line. The command line is useful to super users and administrators. Step 1. Type in the task in the command line. For example, application name. Step 2. Click on Go to Execute. Step 3. Click on List of Existing Records button to view all the existing customers. Step 4. You can also click on Creation of New Record to create a new record. Here is another searching option with the command line. Step 1. Type in the application name, function, and record ID. Step 2. Click on Go to Execute. Note that the profile is not editable from here. The following are other ways you can search with the command line. Step 1. Log in to T24. Step 2. Type in the user application with input function in the command line field. Step 3. Click on Go to execute. Another search option is as follows. You can also type in the user application with input function and ID. Step 2. Click on Go to execute. Another search option is as follows. Step 1. Type in user application with C function and ID authorizer in the command line. Step 2. Click on Go to execute it. Step 3. Then log out. Navigating through the menu. Step 1. In the command line field, input 90. Step 2. Click on the Go button to execute. Step 3. Click on General menu. Step 4. In the General menu, click on Administrator. Step 5. In Administrator, click on User Administration. Navigating through the role-based homepage. The following is the navigation process. Step 1. Click on role-based homepage. Step 2. Click on Customer Service Agent. Step 3. Click on Home button. Here, we can check inquiries and reports. The process of accessing or creating a record. In order to access a record in an application with functions, the following buttons are important. Let's go through them. At the top right corner is the Edit button. This button opens a record in the input function for new or amendment of a record. Next is the View button. This button opens a record in See function. And lastly is the Action button. This button basically opens a record with authorize, delete, reverse, and verify functions. Inputting records in browser. Here we shall take a look at the different buttons used to input records into the browser. Step 1. Type in the user ID in the appropriate field. Step 2. Click on Edit button. On the left is the Commit button to commit the record to update the database. Next is the Validate button to check for errors. The Hold button to put record on hold. The Delete button is used to delete records. The Authorize button, which is used to authorize records. The Reverse button, used to reverse records. The Deal button verifies a deal. The Return button returns to application screen. The Preview button shows the delivery preview. The Radio button, click on any to select. Click on the drop-down box button to access more details. The Expand Multi-Value button is used when you want to add multiple values. The Delete Value button is used to delete multiple values created. The Context Inquiry, which informs you on the mandatory field to fill. The Calendar pop-up button is used to select a date. And lastly, this is the Frequency pop-up button. Deal menu options. Messages. You can have error messages displayed when you commit or validate transactions without filling the mandatory fields. When you click on the error message, it takes you to the respective field to correct the input. Copying records. The process is as follows. Step 1. Type in the user ID in the user field. Step 2. Click on Edit button. Step 3. Click on More Action and select Copy from the drop-down list. Step 4. Click on Go to execute. Pasting data. Step 1. Type in the user ID in the user field. Step 2. Click on Edit button. Step 3. Click on More Action and select Paste from the drop-down list. Note: when you paste, sign-on name will not paste along with the copied. Step 4. Click on Validate to check for errors. Click on the error messages, if any. It takes you to the respective field to correct the input. Step 5. Click on the Commit the Deal button. Deal menu options. The Deal menu option has two options that can be used to search files, and they are A. List. This is to list everything. B. Find. This is to list as per selection. Both options search on live, unauthorized, and history files. The selection operands for Find option are equals, matches, not equal to, greater than or equals, less than or equals, between, not between, contains, not containing, begins with, ends with, does not begin with, and lastly, does not end with. The following are steps to listing live records. Step 1. Type in user in the mandatory field. Step 2. From user, click on More Actions drop-down. Step 3. Select on List Live File from the drop-down. Step 4. Click on Go button to execute. Step 5. Click on Search button. Step 6. Click on Find tab. The following are steps to selecting history record. Step 1. Type in user in the command line field. Step 2. From user, click on More Actions drop down. Step 3. Select on Search History File from the drop down. Step 4. Click on Go button to execute. Step 5. Click on Find tab. Step 6. Click on the Search button. Or Step 6. Select Contain at the ID field and fill in the name in the appropriate field. Step 7. Click on Find tab. Inquiries. Inquiry presents select information online in predefined form. Inquiry lists accounts and loans of a customer with outstanding balance, and inquiries are available under menus. Step 1. From Customer Service Agent, click on Account Operations. There are different ways to make inquiries. Let's start with View T24 Account Details. Step 2. Click on View T24 Account Details. Step 3. Type in account number in the mandatory field. Step 4. Click on Find. Let's take View Account Statement as another illustration. Step 1. Click on View Account Statement. Step 2. Type in the booking date. Step 3. Type in account number. Ensure that the mandatory fields are correct. Let's use search for an account as another illustration. Step 1. Click on Search for an account. Step 2. Type in account number in the mandatory field. Step 3. Click on Find. Let's use List of customers by accounts as another illustration. Step 1. Click on List of customers by accounts. Step 2. Type in customer number in the mandatory field. Step 3. Click on Find. We also have potential customers by mnemonic click on it to view. Lastly, we will talk about some important buttons you need to know in inquiries. First is the refresh button. Next is the selection screen button. Next is the inquiry actions button. Next is the toggle timer button. Next is the print button. Next is the first page button. It shows the first page of the search. Next is the previous page button. It is used to search for the previous page result. Then we have the next page button. And finally, we have the last page button. This is used to navigate to the last page of the search result. Saving output in other formats. The search or inquiries results can be opened or saved as CSV. Output will be saved as Microsoft Excel separated file in any opted location. Click on Inquiry Actions button and select Save as CSV from the drop-down. From the pop-up, select Open and click OK. PDF. Output will be saved as PDF file in any opted location. Click on Inquiry Actions button and select Save as PDF from the drop-down. From the pop-up, select Open and click OK. HTML. Output will be saved as HTML file in any opted location. Click on Inquiry Actions button and select Save as HTML from the drop-down. From the pop-up, select Open and click OK. XML. Output will be saved as XML in any opted location. Click on Inquiry Actions button and select Save as XML from the drop-down. From the pop-up, select Open and click OK. You have come to the end of this module on the Introduction to T24 Navigation. Thank you.